All right, everyone, I'm going to play some chord options that you could use for your standard jig in 6/8, also called a double jig. And just to remind yourself, you have the slide, which is in 12/8, and the slip jig, which is in 9/8. The double jig in 6/8 just has 2 beats, and they happen to find themselves, that works, on a dotted quarter note. So if you're playing a D major chord, you have a D and an A together. And usually in our drum and fiddles class, we just start with a simple rhythm where we're changing the bows on every beat. So this would be how it would be for a D chord is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The second option here is really to provide more excitement by bowing through all of the eighth notes, accenting the first eighth note and the fourth eighth note, which happen to fall on those strong beats. So that would sound like this. And when it gets faster, the accented notes are really the important ones, and then the notes that are not accented, these guys here, they can become like ghost throwaway notes. They're just kind of like zeros holding placeholders. So that would be, all right. And then the third rhythm is just a quarter note with an eighth note. It makes things sound very skippy. And the bowing is just down, up, as it comes bowing. We're not going to do any double ups or something that some of you classical people might be doing with your trying to get the downbeat always on that first grouping and going down, up, down. That's not wrong. There's not really anything wrong with that, but it's hard to, when it gets faster, it's hard to control that, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so for Kahneman's rambles, I would suggest always switching things up when you play. Don't always do the same rhythm, just kind of feel out the music and what's happening in the melody. So if we're playing something that's starting to sound tired in the melody, you might, as a cello player or a rhythm player, get these eighth notes going just to kind of give it some more rhythmic depth. Okay, enough of me talking. So what I'm going to do for Kahneman's rambles for this video, which you could use to practice, but just keep in mind, fiddle music, don't do it the same way every single time. We don't want to, be like an orchestra. We want spontaneous creativity, which can be hard for some of us, right? So let's go ahead and start with the skippy rhythm here. So on a D chord, you'll have, and then in the second measure, you have 2 chords happening in the measure. Whenever that happens, let's do this down here. So from the beginning, it would be, and back to skippy. We'll add in the eighth note, so it will have the feeling of maybe speeding up or going faster, but the beat's staying the same. We are adding more notes, so it's getting more energetic and exciting. So here's the B part where we'll do the eighth notes, and then the ending, oh gosh, those of you who are looking at the music, measure 16 and 17, we'll do the dotted quarter note rhythm. Once again, this doesn't have to be the same, but just for practice. So let's try the B part here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. general pattern we could do. So let's put it all together. We'll start from the A part. We'll do one A and one B, but we'll just do it one right after another, so you have like a whole chunk of rhythms to practice. If you accidentally play a different rhythm than me, great. If you make up your own rhythm, even better. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. 1, 2, a 1, a 2. So just play around with those and get creative with it. I also sometimes played a D chord. You can do that. D and A is the easiest way, but sometimes I would play an open D with the first finger on a G, grabbing that lower A on my G string. So anyway, one more thing. I'm going to play the tune Connaughton's Rambles and see if you can accompany me. I'm going to do 2 A's and 2 B's, which is more standard for a jig. So here we go. 1, 2, a 1, a 2. And it can go much faster. Okay, so I hope you had fun with that. Even if you're a fiddle player and you're doing backups for jigs, because jigs can go pretty fast depending on how fast the players are playing it. Of course, in drunken fiddles, we have all sorts of different speeds. So it's good practice to try it fast just for fun. All right, okay, there's some drama outside, so I will see you in the next video.